Hai. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Putri Adila and this presentation was made as a part of my final exam in Maritime and Fisheries Law. And I choose to talk about traditional fishing right under the UNCLOS with a little help from Moana. For the introduction, first I will explain to you guys about what is traditional fishing. So traditional fishing is a simple way to catch a fish using local knowledge and the basic tools that pass down from generation to generation. If we look at the Moana's island, her people use small canoes and simple fishing gear, not a giant machine, just knowledge and care. So this is exactly how traditional fishing works in many parts of the world, for example like Indonesia and the Pacific island itself. So when we talk about traditional fishing, it's not about big money or a big boats. It doesn't need expensive gear or even a license because traditional fishing, it's only about feeding families, protecting culture, and respecting the sea. Now, here is the cool legal part of traditional fishing right. So in 1982, countries agreed on a rule in UNCLOS or the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, which is in Article 51 that says the archipelagic state shall respect existing agreement with other states and shall recognize traditional fishing right. So means that traditional fishing right must be respected, especially in the archipelagic state like Indonesia, for example. So if we see in the Moana's movie, Moana's people would actually be protected under this law if their island were real, right? And who is protected by Article 51 of the UNCLOS itself? So this article protects two groups. First is the neighboring state that have allowed traditional fishing in each other's waters, and the second, the indigenous and coastal community with a long history of fishing. So it's not about the new fishermen, it's about people with deep roots in the oceans. Traditional fishing rights are not automatic. Both countries must agree first, usually through a bilateral agreement. And this agreement defines area, rules, and permitted practices. And there also will be a condition of recognition. It must be historically established before maritime boundaries were drawn under UNCLOS, and must be substances or cultural purposes, not for large-scale commercial or export activities. For example, Indonesia and Timor-Leste signed an MOU in 2019. It's like Timorese fishers enter Indonesian waters, but only with a small boat in certain zone and only using a traditional tools. This is a real-life application of Article 51 under UNCLOS, and it helps protect the cultures of the sea itself. Why it matters? Why should we care about the traditional fishing? Because it's sustainable and protect the local environment. People who fish the old way usually know the ocean very well. They don't take too much, just what they need, and that helps marine ecosystems stay healthy. Besides, the benefit of fishing using traditional method have positive effect on the environment. It is usually done with a small-scale equipment with a little environmental impact. For example, in the Moana movies, they use alternative energy sources such as wind and solar power. And traditional fishing communities also have a strong knowledge of their local ecosystem. So the knowledge is because it's passed from the generation to generation, and it connects people in the community. So they are more likely to practice sustainable fishing method. But in reality, there are also real challenges too. For example, like a marine pollution that harms coral reef and fish, and also IUU fishing or illegal, unreported, unregulated, which take away fish from locals. And there's also a climate change that moving fish away from traditional area. So that's why law like UNCLOS are important, even though it still need a strong enforcement. And there's also a limitation of the UNCLOS itself, because it does not automatically guarantee traditional fishing right. It has to be negotiated first, and it also does not provide a detailed implementation or enforcement. So it's only provide a framework of the traditional fishing itself, and it's only applied to relation between state and do not directly to internal or domestic customary fishing right. So what do we learn? Traditional fishing is more than catching fish. It's about culture, identity, and justice. UNCLOS help protects this right, but we also need awareness and respect. And like Moana says, the ocean is a part of who we are. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoy this journey from Motunui to Maritime Law. And thank you so much for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.